Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now you guys see me collecting many different types of banknotes. You'll see me collecting Federal Reserve notes, silver certificates, gold certificates, treasury notes, all different types of notes, foreign notes as well. I mean, you'll see all of these different notes that I collect. I do have an interest in one other type of note, which would be specimen notes. You saw me pick up a couple specimen notes from Heritage Auctions, the specimen fractionals that I scooped up. And I thought those were pretty interesting because specimen notes generally are going to be in really good shape because they weren't ever circulated. They were simply made as specimens. Most were made, passed out, usually made into posters or displays so that everybody could see what the actual note was. Well, I have a really cool specimen that just came in, and I'm going to show you about that one a little later. So what I'm getting at is don't limit yourself, okay? Just because it's not a spendable note doesn't mean it isn't a note. I know that borders along the lines of stamp collecting and stuff like that. I don't collect stamps. I never got into collecting stamps like that. But I can understand how people are drawn to that because technically a postage stamp is just a lesser version of one of these. It is a piece of paper that has been designated a value by the government. So I get that. Anyway, I'm just saying don't limit yourself to just currency. That's all I'm getting at for this particular hint. All right, let's get these out of the way and let's take a look at what I found this week. Starting off, found a Where's George? Where's George notes. Here we go. Make sure I can get this focused right there. Where's George notes? You don't need to have a stamp to participate in Where's George. You can simply write on the note, Where's George, and away it goes as long as it's logged in. That's all that's needed there. So yeah, when I was going through these, normally I hold my notes like this as I go through them. I'm left-handed, so that's how I do it. And it's very easy for me to miss that, but I did spot it, so this Where's George note will be logged. This one was much easier for me to see, very similar to the one that I found last week with that particular stamp on it. Found a birthday note. This one has some potential for some viewers out there. 1959, June 27th. So that was cool. It's always neat finding a birthday note where someone may actually have that birthday. Found some trinaries, 0s, 7s, and 8s on this one. 0s, 2s, and 7s here. This is 0s, 1s, and 8s. This one is quad 3s with a 5th, and it's a trinary, 0s, 3s, and 9s. So that's got a lot of different boxes checked off. Quad 2s on here. This one is quad 4s. Quad 3s. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Quad 6s. And this one is, first it's a trinary, 0s, 2s, and 8s. Second, it's 5 of a kind, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So 5 2s in a row. So that's pretty cool, especially with them all being together. The 0, 2 8s, and then the 5 2s as the trailer. Did find some stars, 2017 star. Don't forget, check to see if you've got a solid star or not. That's the 2017. This one's a 2017 as well. 2017, I don't want to know what this is on this note. Not an error, I'll tell you that much. It's just some kind of dirt marker maybe. 2017 star. Another 2017 star. Kind of a low number. Maybe that one might be rare. We'll check that one out soon enough. This one's in real good shape as well. 2013. And another 2013. Here's a 2013B, so we know where I'm going to look that one up at. This 2013 is in pretty rough shape. And of course, it's got to start with a couple zeros on it to make it a lower number. And same with the one after it. But this one here is a 2009. Why is my camera not focusing today? There we go. 2009. And of course, it's going to keep messing around with me as long as I keep moving my hand. 2006 star note. That's something you don't see every day. Another 2006. So I found two 2006 star notes. Then we get to the older notes. Here's a 2001, and it's in real good shape. 2001 is the newest old note that I would get. 1999, also real good shape. Another 99, also in good shape. 95, checking to see if it's a web note. It is not. Another 95. Another 95. None of these are web notes. You can see they have the location here, and they do have a letter here as well. Another 95. And this is not a 95. Let's see if I can get this to focus right. There we go. 1985 on this particular one. Yeah, it's pretty beat. But it's still a 1985. We'll see. We'll see what this looks like compared to the other ones. Another 1985, also in really rough shape as well. This here is a 1981, and this one is nice. 1981 in really nice shape. And the oldest note I found this time was a 1977. It is a G, so it's one of the more common ones, but still finding a 77, that is always a good thing. So that is what I found this week. What did I bring out from my collection? Well, my friend dandbhuff sent me a package with some neat stuff in it, and one of the things that he sent me really floored me. Okay, let me show you what this is. This is a United States $1,000 traveler's check. Thomas Cook Traveler's Checks is what it is. And here it is. It's a $1,000 specimen, no value traveler's check. Now you can see there's an actual traveler's check on here. Okay, I can put my finger underneath it. This is not just a print. It is the actual traveler's check, which is really, really cool. Now, for younger viewers, and I say this because I think I've used traveler's checks maybe once in my life. So if you're younger than me, you may not even know what a traveler's check is. Basically, if you were going to be traveling if you're going to be traveling and you didn't want to carry massive amounts of cash, what you would do is you would buy traveler's checks, usually in denominations that were in the that you'd be spending, 10s, 20s, 50s, stuff like that, maybe $100 traveler's check. If I remember correctly, I don't think you were allowed to get change, so you would have to use, some of your currency as well. Otherwise, you could just get any denomination you wanted. You could just get all the big denominations in the first place you go. Now you get all the change. Maybe change was available to you. I don't remember exactly, but I do know that by getting the traveler's check, what it did was you had signed the traveler's check when you got it. That would be the signature of the holder. And then when you were at an area where you were going to spend it, you would sign the check again in front of the person you were using it, and they would be able to compare the signatures to know that it was definitely you. I'm sure there was other forms of ID used as well. But what makes what I'm holding in my hand so unusual is the denomination. Like I said, traveler's checks were usually issued in the denominations that you were going to be spending. So to see a $1,000 traveler's check, that implies that you'd be making purchases in the $1,000 range. Not that you were going to carry. Let's look at it this way. If you were going to bring $1,000 cash on vacation and you were worried about losing the money, you would get a traveler's check. But if you got a $1,000 traveler's check, that means the very first place you went to would now have to give you the change for the $1,000 traveler's check, which means you would now have the cash, which defeats the purpose of having the traveler's check, because now anybody could spend them. So that is what is so unusual about the $1,000 amount. You'd essentially have to be spending it on, well, you wouldn't have to, but the need for a traveler's check becomes void if you were to take $1,000 traveler's check and buy something for $20, because now you have $980 in regular cash. Why get the traveler's check if you've got the cash? So it defeated the whole point of traveler's checks. That's why this is so interesting and so unique. It does say Thomas Cook are pleased to announce the addition of the new $1,000 traveler's check to the existing range. As shown in the specimen above, it is purple brown in color and has all the characteristics of the other checks in the range. The US $1,000 check will be issued initially only at a limited number of sales points, but will be available eventually at most of our stockist agents. Please retain this sheet in the instructions for paying agents brochure published in April 1978. The instructions for the payment and reimbursement contained in the brochure also apply to this new check. And when was this? This was January 1979. Once again, do a little math. $1,000 in 1979. Yeah, kind of a useless denomination for a traveler's check, which makes this extremely cool. Like I said, it is a specimen, and if I want to be very careful, but if you look on the back, you can see that there is inking on the back. I'm not going to peel it off of there. I'm leaving it right there. I believe, other than having it say specimen, there is a hole punch there. I think that's to cancel it as well. But the absolute coolest thing about it is I have two of them. That's the best part. So thank you very much, dandbhuff, for sending these. I am fascinated by these. These are really cool. Seeing high denomination traveler's checks. Like I said, if you know what traveler's checks are, it really makes you scratch your head when you see denominations this large. So I really appreciate that. Guys, if you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next week.